As a teacher, Swami Chinmayananda had a brilliant way of condensing difficult concepts into language that we could understand. For instance, he so beautifully worded and explained the principle of causation. Let's listen.
So the first law, effect cannot be without a cause. Number 2, effects are cause itself in different forms. And number 3, from the effect, if the cause is removed, nothing remains.
Truth be told, if one lived in constant awareness of these 3 laws, all further learning could stop. But we are not that easy to work with, so he came up with a mechanism to explain the entire universe and beyond in just 10 letters. The BMI chart was born. The body, mind and intellect are the only 3 instruments of all experiences. The OET, the objects, emotions and thoughts, are the total field or realm of these experiences. Persecuted between these 2, we, the PFT, the perceiver, feeler, thinker, or the ego, are stuck, unable to reach the God state of Om. Why? The 10th letter V for vasanas, which are tendencies that are left in us due to our past thoughts and actions. After such a crisp and concise summary, he also gave us the solution to vasana elimination.
Without ego and egocentric desires, if you can act in the world outside, the existing vasanas will get exhausted, it purifies you.
And how can you act without ego and egocentric desires? By performing selfless acts at all times, where the act of serving others gives you a great sense of joy and fulfillment. And after all this, us poor humans, we have questions, some that make you think and some that might make you cringe. But not Swamiji. No question went unanswered. Let us listen to a sample of his many brilliant responses to questions that were asked in satsangs. It must be said that all of these responses were spontaneous, instant answers. Swamiji, if we are Satchidananda, why did we leave it? You never did leave it. Your looking for God is like a clay pot looking for clay. Swamiji, why did God create this world? What world? What makes you think that I see the same world that you do? The question is incorrect, and yet you are not the first to ask it. My advice is this: write down the question on a piece of paper, go straight to God and ask Him why He created this world. I guarantee that you will not remember this question at that time. Secondly, the question itself is flawed because when you say, "Why did God create this world?" it assumes a questioner that is different from God. When you reach the God state of consciousness, this separation does not exist. The question and the questioner disappear along with the entire world of creation. But the questioner continued, "But how did this creation really happen? There you are, helplessly flogging around in a cesspool, and you are wondering who pushed you in? Get out of it. Do you experience a divine state all the time? Experience is of the body, mind, and intellect. I am being, not experience. I allow experience to exist around me, but I am untouched by it." Swamiji, when can I start spiritual practice? Isn't the desire for liberation also a desire? You said one must act in the world without desires. True, it is an egocentric desire, but a higher desire. When all desires are removed, it will die of itself. it is like a pole vaulter. When he goes over the line, he lets go of the pole. Sitting outside a beautiful garden, looking at the flowers, a student remarked, "These flowers are so beautiful. The sight of them gives us sublime happiness." The always alert Swamiji said, "Yes, if we cannot find sublime happiness in ourselves, then the flowers are a means to evoke it." I feel like I should do something to improve the world. You improve yourself. That's the real challenge. Wanting to help others? That's ego too. You think you're going to bring the experience of the ultimate down to the physical reality? That's like wanting to go to the moon to bring space back to the earth. Lastly, a question on sin. Someone asked Swamiji to define sin. Now, a traditional answer could be long-winded and involve abstract terms including God, heaven, hell, and so on. But Swamiji delivered a beautiful response with mathematical precision. Sin is the measure of the angle of deviation between the desire of the mind and the judgment of the intellect. His predecessor, the great Swami Vivekananda, also frequently said, "The difference between saint and sinner is not one of kind, but of degree." Perhaps these saints are onto something with angles and degrees. It makes sense. Because if there is a single truth or Brahman, everything else is just a false deviation or a variation from the truth. When this variation or deviation is accumulated over time, it becomes that single letter V that veils us from the kingdom of God.